Hey guys, Spidey Geo9 here. I hope you're having a marvelous day. Have I got a treat for you and for me? I've got Ryan Ting from the Marvel Legends crew here, not to talk Marvel Legends, but to talk Marvel cards, and I'm really excited about that. Ryan, as I've been following the Legends guys, I've noticed that Marvel cards pop up quite a bit in your conversation, and that you seem to have an affinity towards Marvel cards, and to some degree, they probably influence Marvel Legends. So I'm really excited to get to know you more and get to hear more about your Marvel card story tonight.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I go back a long way with the cards, and I've been trying to follow more of the modern happenings that you and your fellow content creators are putting out. And yeah, happy to talk cards and legends and growing up with everything Marvel. And yeah, if you're seeing Marvel cards forced into presentations that Dwight, Dan, and I do, it's because of me. I'm the guilty party.
I knew it.
And
I knew
and they
it.
just kind of tag along and nod like they know what I'm talking about. But we're all fans of different things, Marvel, and that's what's great about it.
They're so connected, in my opinion, especially for the adult Marvel Legends collector, because there's a really good chance that you watched your, say, X-Men or Spider-Man on the TV screen, and then you saw them in an action figure or a trading card in your daily life, and they just seem to be so connected. I love it. I'll show one of my new favorite legends here. Obviously, it's the new Spider-Man on the mold, which I'm a big Spidey fan, as you can imagine. Super excited about it.
Yeah, that's the latest one. You liking that wave? It seems to be going over pretty well.
Yeah, I actually have the whole wall that I'm putting up there. So,
Nice.
but I'm not like you. I like to open my legends and my Marvel cards. I, well,
So
we
you're
have
you like to let them breathe, as some would say. Yeah.
yeah, let them breathe or set them free. Either one. We have a saying in our Marvel card community, ABR, always be ripping. And I like to get them out and set them free. The Spider-Man vintage card though, it's really good wall art and has a special place in my heart. So I buy two of those and put one on the wall.
That's how we like it. Yeah, it's funny. I am an impact collector of non-Marvel things that I'm just interested in, and even the stuff I get to work on. But the joke is, yes, I do open a lot of legends as well, and they're all scattered throughout the house here. So I get the best of both worlds.
You get the best of both. Awesome. Now I want to go back to the Marvel Legends trading cards. Do you mind kind of giving us a background on how that came together?
The which ones?
The
Which ones
Marvel
now?
Legends trading cards that
Oh,
were
for Upper Deck.
released for Upper Deck at Gamestop exclusives.
Yeah, so that was a promotion between GameStop US and our GameStop sales team. So they actually drove that promotion. It was they had the idea because Upper Deck is the official license to make the Marvel cards.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, they wanted to do a giveaway, and they brought the idea to the brand team. So Dan and I, were super excited, and I had all these kind of thoughts on it, and they wanted to do packs and tie it to the different waves that we had coming out last year. So as we were planning it out, those were waves such as like the Iron Man wave, the Villains
Mhm.
wave, the Fantastic Four retro wave, and yeah, we just kind of told them, hey, here are the characters that are going to be in it. Might want to put in some other characters, and so that's why there was that little disclaimer on the bottom that said
Right.
characters in this set are not indicated for the future of Marvel or whatever it was.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember you were like, promise you, this doesn't mean you're getting this figure in the future."
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully we can get to them all, but yeah, I think it was 15 cards or so per set, and they were giveaways, and we actually didn't know exactly when they were dropping. I think different stores just got them in, and it kind of organically appeared on social. People were like,
Mhm.
Wait, what are these? We haven't heard anything about this." And then they did a Instagram post a couple of days in and kind of announced it, but it was that rare time where something happens just completely out of the blue, right? In this day and age of pre-orders
Yeah.
and maybe toy leaks, unfortunately reality. But yeah, that was a fun activity, and hopefully they bring it back. I don't really know what their plans are, but I think it was a fun thing for those of us who are into both the toys and the
Yeah.
cards.
I think it's kind of still happening. They did wave 2, wave 3, then went back to wave 1, and then now doing wave 4. So,
Right.
and I actually haven't received Wave 4 yet in our stores locally, so I'm still keeping an eye out for those.
And that was the thing too, where they had to they launched with Wave 2. So
Yeah.
immediately mass confusion. What happened to Wave 1? Like
Yes.
where are
Did
we?
we
What's
miss it?
going on?
Yes. Are
Yeah.
you playing games? But that actually made it a lot of fun. The mystery, the unknown, the chase. To me, that all kind of added to it. And Wave 4 has Silver Surfer in it. And you've been following the content. You probably know that Silver Surfer has been a banned character. So these will be the first Silver Surfer cards since 2013, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the Fantastic Four all together. So Doom, Mister Fantastic Thing, all of those have not been in Marvel trading cards since 2013, 2014.
So yeah, that's probably due to the the Fox acquisition and all that. Like, different things were not focused in the comics, so that makes sense that it wouldn't be in the cards. But everything is back under the friendly Disney umbrella. So hopefully we get to see
Yeah,
movies and cards and everything moving
we
forward, right?
we are. So now Marvel Beginnings releases a little later this year, and it will have the Fantastic Four and their villains and allies all in that set.
That's awesome.
So I'm with you. I think it was a license issue, and that's why Upper Deck stayed away from it.
Yeah, we deal with that, in the toys too. Marvel has a lot of priorities going on with the cinematic universe and also publishing, and we can do things, but we like to lean into what the focus is for our Marvel partners.
Now, have you collected the Legends trading cards yourself?
I was fortunate enough to get a couple of samples, but in typical fashion, I have not opened them. I like having
Oh,
this little
God.
box with all the packs because the thing is, I know that if I open them, I probably don't have enough to complete a set, and then that's gonna like irritate me. So
Yeah, because
yeah, so I'll leave them
because
in.
there's 3 base cards and a foil card in each pack,
Yep.
and when you see that foiling in hand, that rainbow, they did a really good job with that set. Really impressed.
Yeah, I got to go back and pick some of those up.
Yeah. What if I may have some doubles laying around. I might just send you some.
All right, we'll hook up a Legends for cards trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. So, you started collecting trading cards as a kid, I assume, is that correct?
Yeah, I think we're similar, talking about growing up, early 90s, there was the trifecta or maybe, of comics and cards, cartoons, toys, and also like video games. So I guess that's like
Yeah.
four things, right? Like there was a lot of great video games growing up too that were awesome. And it just, in thinking about cards, like we'll never get back to that day where there's no internet and there's no online shopping, and a lot of the ways you kind of learn about things is just through what you happen to discover just on your own. And that was how I learned about Marvel, because I didn't have that many comic books and I didn't live near a comic book store, so going to one would be a very special treat. But I had these
Mhm.
cards that I would just constantly pour over, and yeah, we're beyond that point where the first time you see a character is going to be in a card, right? Like that's not going to
Right,
happen again.
right.
But it was kind of a magical time, and I've always been very fond of those and kept all my old binders as a
Mhm.
kid. And then when I started, you know, growing older and getting back into collecting and collecting figures, I always, would anytime we'd be at a convention or something, I'd keep my eye out, and those are my favorite spots to stop at a San Diego Comic Con, or the card vendors to take a look around.
Yeah. And have you been collecting since you were a kid till now, or did you start that recently?
Right. So I started probably around X-Men, so X-Men Series 192 or
Mhm,
Marvel Universe, the third edition, in
mhm.
terms of buying packs, and so came into some of the other cards through, other friends who maybe didn't want them anymore or picked them up, but probably stopped actively buying, as a kid in the probably 95,
Okay.
95-ish.
Same, same.
Yeah, and then yeah, so then I think was it 2011 when they came back with Upper Deck Marvel Masterpieces for the first time
20
in
2016.
20
Well, no, well, it depends on what you mean by that. 2007,
7.
2008,
Okay.
and it was a little, but it wasn't original art, it was
Yep.
reused art. The first time they came back with original art like the '90s was 2016.
Okay. So I got my days mixed up. So
Mhm.
years mixed up. So yeah, so it was the 2007 set with the just recycled art. So I
Yeah.
saw that those were coming out, and I hadn't really been following it very closely. I know there were some, there were like some Rittenhouse products along the way, right? I think before then, around that time maybe,
That's right. Yeah.
like X-Men Archives. So we had got a couple of those. But then when Upper Deck came back in a big way, I sort of got more into it for a few years, and then kind of tapered off again. And then yeah, just kind of casually following what's going on. And then in the past 2 years, right, like the boom and everything, starting in sports cards, bleeding over to comic book cards,
Hmm.
and the recent sets. And now it's a different proposition, right? Collecting now, the when you buy a box there, it's hundreds of dollars, and you're not really
Right.
like ripping as much as we used to as kids all the
Uh-huh.
time. um but yeah, I mean, I'd say in the like toy industry, I'm one of the bigger card nerds, but in the card collecting community, it's probably embarrassing the little that I know, and I don't
Uh,
really have that big of a collection, but
we don't compare. It's just Marvel cards. We
all
love it.
right, there you go.
I'm actually seeing behind you. I'm noticing quite the collection of sealed boxes. Is that right?
Yeah, I tried to spruce it up for you and everyone today to get a little street cred with you all. I don't know, how am I doing?
Well, that's actually a lot of street cred. Number one, that you have the fortitude to not open them. That's really impressive. And seal products actually really hard to find now. That's really awesome. And I see X-Men Archives.
Yes,
Have you ever opened those at all?
I did. I probably opened a box or two. I do have a base set complete, not all the inserts, but I'm pretty sure I
What'd
do.
you do with the sketches that you hit?
What did I do with them? I don't know. They're probably buried somewhere. One
Oh,
was kind of yeah, they weren't really great from what I remember. Haven't pulled like an amazing sketch really yet. One was like a Professor X, basically like in pencil, it looked like.
right.
So those are kind of hit and miss. But yeah, for a while I did like going on eBay looking for various sketch cards of my favorite
Well, I
characters.
asked because I have a friend that's attempting to collect 1,000 of the X-Men Archives sketches. So if you have any, and you want to do some really cool trades, he's trading heavy for those, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I definitely have like one or two. I just have to find them. They're
Yeah,
buried.
absolutely.
Um, yeah,
So
so
I
I've got
pull.
those and some of the early X-Men stuff.
Mhm.
And one of these things where I didn't even realize at the time, but so these are the 1995 Fleer X-Men, but they're, I believe, the Walmart
Yeah.
boxes,
How
which
many of
were,
those do you have?
I have four. Yeah,
Those are
so
expensive.
I just got them a while ago. At the time, there was a lot of four of them on eBay, and I was like, oh, this is kind of expensive, but they're the Walmart boxes, so I'll
Yeah,
just
they.
I'll
I
just do it.
think last I saw, they sell for like $600 to $800 a box, and I
Yeah,
haven't
so
even looked in a while. All right, so I put up Frank Reese's comment here for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's the guy who pulled the one of one gold Spider-Man out of the pack. Cool guy. And he's got a question here. He says, "We need more Legends AOA Gambit." He likes Gambit. Gambit's like his character. So just wanted you to see his comment.
yeah, I'm on board too. Frankie Gambit's one of my favorite characters as well. And hopefully we'll get to complete the AOA team. We're kind of maybe like two-thirds there, but there's some big ones we still haven't hit.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Now, going back to the Walmart boxes, did you open up any of those?
I did not. No, I have no
So
idea. I have no
so the
idea what's
sil
inside.
do you know what makes them special?
The inserts, right?
The
Are they
silver
rainbow?
the silver X overs, yeah.
Okay.
They're only in the Walmart boxes. You can't get them in any other boxes, and that's what makes them pretty special.
When I was a kid, I didn't maybe we didn't shop at Walmart like back
Mhm.
then, but like now we do for at Walmart and Target for like all the household stuff, but like I never remember seeing cards ever like outside of the local card store. So those kind of
I do rem
Walmart exclusives.
I do remember a brief few trips to Walmart where I felt like I got the, X-Men Chrome, like, cards, but they didn't have the chrome. Like, they were the great value version of the Marvel card. So, I remember that, but, yeah, I'm with you. I don't who somebody was buying them up before I could ever see them if they were there.
Our son's into Pokemon cards now, so
Yeah,
sometimes that's like when we go into the Targets and Walmarts and the shelves are all picked clean. They've been better recently,
yeah,
but for a while it was yeah it was empty.
it's tough, and it's we're a long way away, in my opinion, from seeing Marvel cards at Walmart, but, it doesn't have that mass appeal yet, but I think it's coming.
maybe when we get these new properties introduced in a couple, whoever knows when, like that might be the time.
Yeah. Now, I remember you said you had some questions for me. What you got?
Yeah, just in terms of like, so it's a very like personalized question,
Yeah.
but I was only until recently, I was not until recently aware of like of that Fleer Retro Marvels 2013 set of just like everything in there being worth a crazy amount.
Right.
And I knew, so I bought one mini box back in 2013. So it was like two mini boxes per box, and I was just looking
Yeah.
at it like 10 packs per box, mini box, 10 packs per mini box,
Mhm.
and it was for some at the time something ridiculous, 100 $200 or something, right, for a little
Right.
tiny thing. And I was like, oh, this is crazy, but like I'm just gonna do it. It'll just be this one time thing. And I opened them, flip through it or whatever, put them in a little case and put it away, and never thought about it again, really. And then a couple of weeks ago, just on a whim, I was like, oh, didn't well, like I wonder what I had. So I went back and looked through that, and I think there's some pretty good hits in there.
Do you have them?
So
Can you show them?
yeah. So is this the thing? What are we doing here?
Yeah, we got to do this.
All right. So these were the ones that struck my eye immediately, right? So
Uh
we've
huh.
got we've got two autographs. We've
Okay.
got
This
Luke Cage. Is this
very
the no?
cool.
This is the Hawkeye. Hawkeye.
A Hawkeye. Yeah.
And then we've got Luke Cage.
Nice. Is this
Then
the
we
same artist on both of those?
Yeah, it's Mike Deodato.
Nice. People are nervous what you're going to show.
We've got a Iron Man Power Blast.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good
That's
insert.
pretty cool.
I like that for
And
sure.
then what was I? I was just going through some of these earlier. Have I misplaced them? Have I misplaced them?
Take your time. We all want to see these.
We've got Captain
Oh,
America.
that's nice. Those are popping hard right now. That's probably 250
I
$300
know.
card.
So these ones I just put in. I just pulled them out today because I wasn't sure what they were. But so now we've got this Captain America,
Isn't
the
that a
Marvel
cool card?
Universe
Yeah.
Series 2, and then I've got another Deadpool
Oh,
guy
yeah.
here,
So
and then a couple. Yeah,
we
go
saw
ahead.
some of those sell at the Atlanta show. You may have seen some of those in the videos, but
And these are just what? These are just the base metals, or
they're
what are they called?
technically an insert because it's the retro metal from '95. Obviously, it's the homage to that.
Yeah.
But then the parallel is the PMG, and I'm hoping that's what you're about to pull out.
So yeah, I'm trying to play the role of marketer here and
you're,
slowly build,
you're pretty good at that.
slowly build. Yeah. So I have more. I had like the metal here. I can't. This case is like really hard to open for some reason. But I
Take your
have like a
time. Take your time.
Magneto. I've got some Luke Cage. I've got the Deadpool in the like 1990
Oh,
white
the 90
bordered.
MU, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that one. So I'll see if I can actually
I
get
can't.
this open here.
I don't know if you know how lucky you are to be able to open that. There's very few new collectors or modern collectors who actually got a chance to open the retro boxes.
So we've got this is that Deadpool,
That's awesome.
right? Got some 94, got a Cable, got a Cyclops,
Cyclops, yeah.
got another 90, got two of these for some reason.
Oh, okay. Luke
Two
Cage
Lukes.
out of one mini box.
That's right. Got Gene in the 94.
Yeah.
94.
What I love about some of those 2013s is you get multiple characters in the one card.
That kind of, I'm personally not a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why. I kind of just like it honed in on the one character. I bought I got this Rogue autograph card and with like Hope Summers next to her, and it's like rather just have the Rogue on it, but
Rather
I
have the
don't know,
Rogue.
just
Well, the
me.
one I'm thinking about specifically is the Miles Morales. And you don't notice it at first, but Spider-Man's in the background, Peter Parker.
Oh, see,
And
yeah, that makes sense.
the comic book, that's actually a comic book cover, and it's the first time Miles and Parker were in the same comic book together.
Okay,
And so that's the card I'm thinking about when I say that.
that's special. I see it for the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So here's that Luke Cage metal.
Luke Cage heavy box.
We've got the Magneto. version of that.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is clean. Keep them clean. Keep them clean.
And then we've got Ultra Stars Thor.
Oh, that is a really nice card.
And then I got some cool base stuff here. But audience, we have been leading to a moment here.
Oh man, it's building nicely. I'm
And
excited.
and this is funny because and I ran downstairs, my wife will attest. I ran downstairs being like, I just realized I had this. Like, look at this. This is crazy. But this is
Holy smokes!
my Hulk.
Wow,
Blue
dude.
Hulk. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty good, right? Not bad.
No, that is massive, dude.
I've been following some of the other the blue I've been tracking some of the blue auctions and stuff, and I see the caps and stuff going for crazy. But
Are you serious?
yeah, so that was just sitting in since 2013. That's been
Can we
sitting
look
in a
at it again?
plastic.
Can we
Yeah,
go? Sorry.
it's been sitting in a plastic bin, just all by his. Actually with the rest of them. But boy,
I'm trying to look top to bottom. Looks good. Oh my gosh. That's my favorite Hulk PMG, by the way. Wow. Wow.
so yeah, it's
Wow.
been fun. It's been fun. I'm trying to educate myself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the lesser characters have sold for 15,000 raw. So
So it's a lot of other toys I can trade that into. We'll see.
right, right. That is awesome. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun. It was a
Is
fun journey because I look around and it's like all I collect a lot of toys, but they're all
Mhm.
like modern stuff, and so it's not really a for value really,
Yeah,
right? I
sure.
mean, so it's just for what you like looking at and what you
Mhm,
just like having, and I like just having the toys be in their pristine packages. Like that's how I
mhm.
like to look at them a lot. But it's funny that this small handful of cards is like worth more than
And
an
then
entire room full of action figures. Yeah,
I trust me. I have wrestled with some of the same thoughts. I literally built the room we're in now for the Sentinels. Like
just for
that,
them. That
I knew they were coming. Not well, obviously not just for them, but I knew that in my study I couldn't have all these legends and the Sentinels. So I was
mhm.
like, babe, I need to put another space. And so um, let's build this room. And I think I have over 1,000 legends. So, you can do the math pretty easily, right? And I'll have one Marvel card that that encompasses all of that. It takes up very little space.
Yeah,
So, but you
it's
don't
a,
get to enjoy it. I love displaying my stuff. I love posing them. I love rebuilding the scenes. There's a bit of a therapy to that for me. So,
yeah. I have this setup behind me, which is this is actually where I sit for work, like many
yeah,
hours a day. But it's where we also do our Hasbro Pulse stream events every month or so. We'll do one, and so I
absolutely.
like to just dress the shelves differently every time with whatever we have going on.
You're
And
really
put
thoughtful about it. There's a bit of foreshadowing sometimes, some clues behind there. They're thematic to what you're talking about on that episode of the live stream. I always enjoy seeing what's in your background.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot of fun to do. I think it started a couple years back at Comic Con in San Diego. We have these in our the Hasbro booth. We have these shadow box displays at the wall on the wall, and we're there for like 4 days in a row. So every day we would kind of put out new figures, and then we would have a big panel on a certain day on like an after Saturday afternoon, and then we would put
Mhm.
all the reveals in. But I started like just finding little accessories of figures we hadn't revealed yet and just putting them in the box like without saying anything, and people would walk by and be like, wait a minute, like what's that weapon, or like what's that, why is there a squirrel, because like we did a squirrel girl
Yeah,
on a scooter, and I would just like play with that. And so yeah, I've enjoyed doing that. And it's funny to me too because people who kind of come by the Instagram and they maybe don't really know what my deal is, but they'll be
mhm.
like, "Oh, I see something. That means we're getting it tomorrow." And it's like, if I wanted you to tune into a live stream that we're doing, I'm probably not going to put out the exact thing we're going to reveal. I just
Nope.
don't think that makes sense.
No, not
But
at all.
they love to have their theories, and so it's a cat and mouse game.
That's awesome. Well, Mr. Charles would like to see the Hulk again.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, am I supposed to get this graded? Like, I don't know. Does it matter? I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here.
Well, that's actually a really good question. So, um, as a collector, I think grading it is the right decision. It protects it. There's more than one thing other than encapsulating it that having it that way does for you. Um, it authenticates it as these cards get more valuable. Having that serial number graded on the PSA pop report or SGC or BGS pop reports like ensures that you were first and you don't have to worry about the fakes as much.
Hmm.
If you're talking about selling it, the condition does have an impact. But here's the thing: PMGs are hard. They're hard to get in that pristine, PSA 10 or PSA 9 even. A PSA 8 is actually considered a premium, meaning that it's better than raw. Um,
Okay.
the
Wow.
PSA 7s are really more of that raw, kind of you get the same evaluation graded as a 7 as you do a clean raw card. Um, so if you know how to look at it and you think this is definitely a 7 and you're trying to sell it, it may just be best to let somebody else take the risk of trying to get an 8, right? But if you feel like it's a clean looking card and at a couple of glances it looked like such, then it's definitely worth grading.
Yeah. Is that so? Is that I've been trying to learn about grading from the sports card in the sports card market too. Like
Mhm.
early on in the pandemic, listening to stuff, and I felt like everyone's always hunting tens, and they get a nine, and they're like, oh, disappointed, right? Like when it comes back. So that's interesting to hear that even an eight in a is considered
Right.
above average there.
So Ryan, I'd like to actually like jump on that because me and some guys from the Pack Fresh podcast crew were talking today, and we were saying, hey, look, we came into the Marvel card modern space with 90 MU cards. If they grade a PSA 10, they're worth hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. And if they don't, they're not worth very much at all. And I think what it did is it caused a lot of us Marvel card guys and gals to think that PSA 10 was it. Like it had to be that. And that's actually not true at all, especially with cards such as PMGs. Less than 3% of PMGs grade a PSA 10.
Hmm.
So they're just impossible, right? Very unlikely, highly unlikely. But a PSA 9 is still very, very respectable. And we've actually seen the market respond to that, where, we've seen these red Spider-Mans almost hit six figures for a PSA 9. Um, and then we've seen the blues exceed six figures for a BGS 9. So those cards are very difficult to grade, and the eights and the nines should be highly respected.
Okay.
Now,
That's
with
awesome.
saying that, 90s cards that were overpopulated, it needs to be top grade.
Yeah, in early on in 2020 in the pandemic, I before everything kind of took off, I just grabbed a couple of PSA 10. I have a Sentinel and a Rogue. I missed out on a Gambit, but probably got those for like $40 or something in
Right.
2020. And now it's much harder, and I feel kind of silly, but I'll share this with you.
Yeah.
So I was tracking some cards on eBay. There were two auctions. It was the gold and blue teams from the 1992 set. So
Yeah.
there was a 10. There were a bunch of tens in that set up, and they were ending minutes apart, or maybe it was maybe hours, maybe minutes
Mhm.
apart. And it was the gold team and the blue team, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get both because I love these teams. I'm a huge X-Men guy.
Mhm.
The gold team ended first. And so I got that one at whatever it was, and I was pretty happy about that I didn't go too crazy. But then I was like, all right, now I need to get the blue one because otherwise it's just going to feel silly if I only have one. And then of course I don't really know what I'm doing on eBay, and I don't have the bots and everything, and so I'm just
Right.
there refreshing on my phone, and of course I lost out on it. So
Oh,
I got my 10 on the gold, and I have to wait for another blue team to come up at some point. But
I bet it will. Now, was that just the base card, or
yeah.
did it have the Jim Lee auto?
No, no. We can talk more about that too. The elusive Jin Liado. You and some of your guys there did a big video on that, and so I was actually learning a lot from it.
This guy right here,
Yeah,
Scandell.
yeah.
He's
Scandell, share some of the Jim Lee autos, man.
he shares. That's how I acquired this one. We're actually PSA brothers, PSA 9 brothers. We both got the 9 grade. So I got a 9 grade and a 10 auto. So I'm very happy. Whoa, very happy with that one. A lot of reflection there.
I'm trying to find. I wonder if there's a YouTube video of anyone of someone opening of cracking one, right?
Out of a box?
Yeah.
Someone has shared a video of that with me before. And I remember the story. The guy was like, I think he said he woke up like at 2 a.m. and decided to rip it and pulled a Jim Lee auto. But I don't know if it's on YouTube.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
gotta figure that out.
Yeah. At some point, I'm gonna get bored and go crazy and just open my however many. What are those like 12, 10 boxes? Um, but
Well,
yeah, that would be pretty rad.
one day we could do a box break, and if I hit the auto, you can have it.
Oh, too kind. We'll work
Yeah,
something out.
because I want to rip it anyway. So, so I ripped one. I bought two. I ripped one and did not get an auto, but it was still a lot of fun.
Do you save any empty packs?
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, right? I mean, it's perfectly normal behavior. I do as well. And then when I'm open a box, I have like I don't use scissors. I just open it like I do, and then I
Yeah.
have a pile of good looking packs, empty packs, and a
Uh huh.
pile of ones that got a little mangled, and so I'll throw those out, and then I'll keep a couple of good ones.
I
Yeah.
think that's great. And what I like to do with them, if I'm building the set, is I will actually use the empty packs to fill in the sheets where the cards don't go to all 9 panels.
Hmm.
And I'll just have packs in those sleeves to fill in those sheets.
What's your take on binders? Like,
Mhm.
right? Binders are a little unwieldy, and you don't want to damage anything in there. Is there any way to like store them vertically, or no? Or are they always just they're just lying kind of flat on their backs all the time?
I don't think you want them to lie flat because the weight over time presses on the card, and I think can damage. I think they're designed to be set up like a book.
Really? Okay. They don't
Hmm.
just all like drag down like off the
I
rings?
think you want the cards. The idea is that the cards are suspended in air almost in the sleeve rather than pressing on top of one another. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
And then you got to be really careful with the cards that are on the inside because the ring can damage them.
Yeah.
As you flip them or turn them, you got to be really careful with that. I actually just ordered today 4 binders that hold top loaders, so I can top load the card and put it in a binder and get the full effect.
They hold top loaders. Okay, interesting. I
Mhm.
haven't seen those, but yeah, I love top loaders. Just seeing these just loose on the ground just bring me joy because
Just
it's
brings
like,
you joy.
yeah, it's
Wait,
from
wait until you get a one touch. That's where it gets really special. And then of course the top is getting your cards graded. So Mint Corey says don't use ring binders. They actually have the mesh binders where there's no rings.
yeah.
I like those as well.
Though
Um,
yeah, so I grew up playing Magic the Gathering and I still do
mhm,
a lot. I have a smaller collection of that though. But yeah, so like a lot of Magic binders are like that gaming binders where you don't
mhm,
need to see the back of the card really. But
right.
for Marvel cards, we like to see the front and the back, right? Like
Hmm.
that's why we do that.
Yeah. There's
Did you do that? Go ahead.
a lot of good art on the back.
It reminds me of when I was a kid. I'm sure we all did this, right? Like you had your 9 pocket pages and you jammed like six cards like
Yeah.
into one pocket, and
I'm
I
like,
would do like front and back, and yeah,
oh, I absolutely did. In fact, I still have my childhood cards, and as I was like rediscovering them, that's what I was finding. I was like, oh, I've got 3 of these in the back here, not just one. If I had doubles, they went right behind there.
yeah,
But for me, it was the art and it was the information I got on the back. I could learn more in a Marvel card than I could read in any comic book. I just never had access to full runs of comic books. So for me, learning about characters was on the back of a Marvel card. And something I thought was really interesting that you said is it actually introduced us to a lot of characters we hadn't seen because a lot of us didn't have access to all those comic books.
yeah. And the power ratings were huge for me, right? Because you want the awesome, super powerful characters. I liked fighting ability was my number one thing.
So
So I would
Wolverine, right?
yeah, Wolverine, Deadpool, Sabretooth, Psylocke from those sets, and then but then you just get a character whose little graph is much more close to the
Right.
bottom there, and you
Little
like I was
Jubilee.
like Quicksilver. I was like, what's this guy? What's this guy's deal? He's so weak. Um, and the joke between me and Tony at the office, Tony, who's a master model artist at Hasbro, works on all these great figure lines that we know and love. But
Mhm.
Roma, that card, she for some reason I don't know much about the character even, but like
Yeah.
she was nines on everything or sevens on everything, and so it's always like that character's
Really?
yeah, ain't no Roma, yeah, if it's a weak character. So
Oh, I need to look at that. I don't know that I know that card or that
she
character.
was on the in the allies frame,
Yeah,
yeah. So not the superhero or villain, but she was a special one, and it was just very powerful. So
that is really cool. So I got a question for you. So if you could have any Marvel card right now that you don't have, what would it be?
I think there's so much out there that I don't know about.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I think the Jim Lee auto from that set with the stamp, like the official stamp,
Mhm.
that would be something. Just anything. Like I don't know which cards he actually signed, but kind of
Yeah.
any
I mean,
anything.
you got Rogue, Wolverine, the team. You've got um I saw a Phoenix. Scandell had a Phoenix that I really would love to have. There's quite a few, I think.
Yeah. So any one of those. Funny Jim Lee story. So I went to grad school, business school out in Los Angeles
Hmm.
at USC, and I was trying to like network my way into the toy industry, and Mattel was out there. So, you know, various grads and people, and I ended up connecting with this guy who at the time worked for Disney Consumer Products and sorry, not Disney, DC Consumer Products, part of Warner
Got
Brothers. And so I just set up a lunch with him. I'm like in my second year probably of
it.
business school, and I want to tell me about working for Mattel, right? And so I went to go chat with him in his office in wherever at the time it was this really swanky uh, DC DC office with this really cool waiting room. There's like Superman statues and Batman statues,
Right.
and I'm kind of waiting for him. And then he kind of comes out to the lobby, and he's like, "Yeah, like let's come chat. So let's go." He walks me through their office. Here's the room where we get all the comics. You can just come in and pick up any issues that you want. And oh, this is
Wow.
so cool. Here's where we keep all the statues and action figures of the DC characters. And here's my office. And we go into his office, and then I see the office next to his office says Jim Lee on the placard. It's like, what?
Wow.
Like your office is next to Jim, and he wasn't in that day,
Oh,
but
man.
that would have been crazy. So I just kind of like peeked around, and I was like, oh, cool, like Jim Lee's office. All right, sweet.
So
Yeah,
have you actually ever met him?
I think may have seen him from afar at some Comic Cons, but no, not personally. No, we a couple years back at Comic Con, someone who worked at the Marvel booth,
Mhm.
not Hasbro, Marvel, somehow got us some like autographs on a little mini poster that we did. So Dan and I, for Marvel's 80th anniversary in 2019, we recreated a bunch of comic figures using Marvel Legends, and we recreated that quad X-Men 1, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Most famous comic book of all
Love
time, and
it.
we did that all with Legends, and we're really excited to do that because Jean Grey was in this 3-pack, which I have behind me,
Oh, yeah,
which
the
we put
love
trading
triangle.
cards on. Yep. Um, but we hadn't revealed her. But she was like the last of those characters to come out. So we
Mhm.
had a early sample, and we did the photos with her, and then we ended up releasing the image. And then people were like, "Wait a minute, like we've never seen that gene before." And so we really like doing stuff like that. But yeah, so we released the 4 panels as little posters, I think, that year, and then someone knew Jim Lee or was with him and got him to sign 4 of them. And so we at the office brought back 4 posters with Jim Lee's autograph on it, and I think we just divvied them up accordingly.
That is really cool. Yeah, as a Marvel guy, I'm like, what a shame that he's at DC now because there's so many missed opportunities for us in the Marvel stuff. Like, what if he was willing to sign one of his cards that had a Jim Lee art on it?
Yeah,
In
they're
in
bringing
the
like
modern stuff.
they're bringing that book, like that art book. I know we all have it on pre-order, so
Yep.
that's exciting that they're leaning into it still. And they did a series of comic book variant
Mhm.
covers, right? with kind of little updated versions of that 1992 X-Men set. I think I have a bunch of them. Yeah.
Well, I've got my Todd McFarlane Batman right here, where he signed the card, the trading card that's in the box. Have you seen that?
Yep.
And
I
so I'm excited. I haven't opened it yet because I want to really take my time because it's hard to get the cards out of. They like almost glue it to the cardboard, and so I want to take my time, getting it out of there, and to have his signature on the trading card.
So they sold that as like he pre-signed them and then they
Hmm.
put it in the. Okay.
Yeah, I think I can grab it. Hold on here without making too big of a mess.
Oh, yep.
And the trading card, I don't think I can point it out too much, but the trading card is down there in the back,
Uh-huh.
and he signed the back of the card, and so it was a Target exclusive. But as a trading card fan, being a Target exclusive, having an on card auto, if I can get it out really nicely, I think it's going to be a rare card for a long time.
That's cool that he did that. Yeah, we can't officially right do trading cards in pack because yeah, that's kind of an upper deck thing. Like we can't
Right.
Hasbro just can't go making trading cards of anything they want, which is
Go
why
go rogue.
yeah, that's why people I laugh when people say like, "Oh, you guys should do comic books or trading cards." It's like, yeah, you can't just make whatever you can't just make whatever you want and put it
Right.
in. There's a whole process to it, but ideally we would, but we just have to live with it.
Yeah, I think it's a little different because Todd controls so much of his own license, where that's not necessarily true with Marvel. Everybody has a piece of it, it seems like.
There's a lot to go around at least.
I would imagine so. Yeah, yeah, no, I would imagine so. Now, you you got some 2013s. You were asking me about X-Men, Flare Ultra X-Men 2018, right?
Yeah, so let me I got very confused in our discussion. I'll try to get it straight. So yeah,
Yeah.
so Fleer 2018 X-Men.
Mhm.
Um yeah, so basically what I did is over a couple of days, I went on eBay and just bought a bunch of singles, and I think I completed the set. It's like 150 cards, I think,
Mhm.
base set, but those cards are very thick, so I was wondering like how am I gonna display this? I don't even know if they would work in 9 pocket pages. When I bought them and they were sent, um, because each they were like an individual transaction, and so but
Mhm.
also I mean they probably would have packed it this way anyways, but they had those extra thick top loaders, and I was like, oh, that's kind of nice,
Mhm.
but you would just need a really big box to have them all in one place, and so I have to educate myself on the best way to store those.
So you're thinking about maybe putting those in a binder?
If maybe like I don't know, do one is it 130 people are saying?
No,
Uh,
I think that should be 100 point.
okay.
Yeah, 130 is like really, really, really thick. And I don't know of a binder sleeve that would hold 130 point. Somebody probably tried to make it or has something like that. But that should be 100 point. And I think you can get it in most sleeves. You just got to be careful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll see. I don't know. They're all sitting behind me. I still have to go through them all and put them in order, and that'll be fun. But yeah, that was because I'm not really like actively collecting a lot,
Mhm.
and for some reason I just like missed that when it came out. Because had I been aware, I'm sure I would have ordered a bunch of boxes. They probably would have still been expensive, but nowhere near kind of what they are now. But yeah, it was weird that I just kind of I don't know what I was doing.
Well,
Just didn't
well,
know.
there's one person that bought a lion's share of the product. So there's one guy that owns way more than anybody else. And, there's rumors that he owns like 70, 80% of the product. I don't know if that's true. Um, but they call him Mr. Flair Ultra X-Men, Mr. Fuxum is what they call him. And he has everything. So,
That's a clever nickname. Yeah.
right, right. And so, it's just hard to get some of those more rare cards, especially anything that was on EPAC. I don't know if you've ventured into EPAC yet or know what that is, but it's another avenue to get Marvel cards.
Yeah, I haven't ventured into it, but I've read up a little bit on it, and Yeah, I guess that's cool. You can get the card sent to you or just
Mhm.
keep it digitally. Yeah, I guess
Well,
that's
here's the thing, roughly 50% of the product is released physical and then released on e-pack. And so that's one of the reasons why it's pretty hard to get some of the physical product, and why, like, the fact that you have sealed boxes, tends to be more rare in Marvel, because so much of it since 2016 is now on e-pack.
50%. That seems crazy to me, but
No, that's what they're
yeah.
doing. Marvel Masterpieces 2020 sold out in 6 days after release on e-pack.
Do you do you buy boxes on e-pack or just
E
packs?
Either.
Okay.
You can buy a box, you can buy a case, you can buy, a pack.
I wonder how like
The
how does the
algorithm.
correlation work though, right? Like if you're buying a box,
Mhm.
you roughly know the
You get
odds of things and what you're supposed
Oh,
to
yeah,
get.
there's a checklist, and you have your box hits that you're guaranteed, and I would tell you, as someone who's opened quite a bit on e-pack, it's very consistent in giving you your, hits that you're owed in a box. The pack is more gambling because you kind of have a group of people all buying out of a box, so you might get box hits more regularly, but you also may not.
Mhm.
So that's pretty risky. Some people have varying opinions of that. And then you have, your case hits, so to speak, and you can buy a case on e-pack. I bought a case of X-Men metal. In my second box, I hit a gold Planet Metal Wolverine number to 15, which is a case hit, and was very happy to get it.
Would you recommend what would you recommend if someone was like, "Hey, like maybe like someone like me, but it's like, yeah, I grew up with it. I'm kind of interested in it, but I'm also not gonna go crazy, right? Like
It's
out the
um,
gate."
it's actually pretty tough to give advice or recommend e-pack, because it can be so much like gambling. I mean, the function is, you're hitting the button, click, 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 and cards are popping up. And then when it's a hit, it goes dun dun dun. It's like this red flashing light, and you're like, I won something, kind of like that. And then after you're done, it goes, would you like another pack? Why,
Yep.
yes, I do. And then you start playing this game in your head. Well, like, I just hit that card. It's a $200 card. Well, that means I can get another pack. And then you're caught in this loop
Yeah.
of overbuying. And so you just have to have a lot of self discipline, in my opinion, and not get caught in what, I call it full tilt, to use the gambling term, to not get into full tilt. And so if you have a plan, and there's some people that have like significant strategies with EPAC, where they say, you know what, I'm going to buy one box and I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to use that to trade into what I want. And they spend a lot of time and effort trading with other EPAC users, because that's one of the cool things about EPAC is I can look at the cards that you have revealed, and I can say, hey, I'd like to trade this and this for that, and then make trades. And then you can kind of build like in Magic, how you build a deck. you know, you build a set of cards that you're using to get what you want, even though you haven't spent a lot of money.
Sounds like a fun side project one day when I get bored, but yeah, wow. So how far we've come since the 90s.
Yeah, Sydney says you can't dabble. I tell people you can't just stick your toe into Marvel cards. It's all in. Once for fun, twice for life. But E-Pack's fun. You got Spider-Man Metal, which is coming out soon. You got Into the Spider-Verse, which is coming out. You got Marvel Beginnings that's coming out. You've got Flare Ultra Avengers, which is going to be coming out. 2022 Marvel Masterpieces should have, if not a physical release this year, we should find out who the artist is, and what's going on with that this year. So there's a lot of good cards and sets coming out soon.
Yeah, the way they get me is just the old designs, right? Just
hmm
that's all the right nostalgia, and they just hook you.
Oh, yeah, it's and then once they get you in with maybe a nostalgic card, like say a metal card, and then you get into the other inserts and you realize, oh, these are really nice too. I like I like these as well, and then you're all in. So let me give you an example. So in X-Men Metal, which I was a huge fan of because I loved the 1995 Metal cards. I don't know if you got into those.
I think I was probably winding down when the metal set. I was more of like a
Hmm.
Fleer
94
Ultra is what
Fleer,
I got. Yeah.
same. But I just got these today. So let me tell you what this is. This is called a printing plate. So this is the actual plates that were used to print the card that came in that set. And then they made it an e-pack achievement where you had to obtain a certain number of cards that had not been redeemed, redeem them to, and then were randomly given a printing plate booklet, and someone got this one. Well, I collect Dark Phoenix out of that set, and I traded pretty heavily for it. So, and this thing is gorgeous in person.
Wow. That's How do you store that though? You just like.
Um, well, they actually send it in a plastic case, but I like to display everything, so I will actually have this in an IKEA display with all my other Dark Phoenix cards to build the rainbow, so that I can look at it and enjoy it. So,
So who are is Dark Phoenix like one of your main characters, or do you have several? What's the
well, Spider Man's my main character, but when you have a product like X Men Metal Universe, there's really not. There is Spider Man cards in there. That's another topic, but they're not in the base set or in some of the inserts. And so at that point, as I'm opening up product, I'd like to hit one of the big cards, what I call the anchor cards. And if I hit that big card, then I'd like to build out a character collection around that character. And for me, that was Dark Phoenix and X Men Metal.
so it will vary for you by set
Mm-hmm.
depending on the big card that you hit?
The character and the art, it's a combination of the two. It's not just enough to be the right character. The art has to speak to me as well.
Okay.
I mean, I love the art. That's a big part of Marvel cards for me.
Yeah.
To
Well,
give you an example, even though I'm a Spider-Man guy, I've gone pretty hard after Wolverine in the 2016 Marvel Masterpieces because I just really like the Joe Jusko Wolverine art in that set.
is that common? Is that a common practice or is that
Um,
just kind of your approach?
I don't know that I would say it's common. A lot of people stick to their character, and that's their hyper focus. And then you have others who are just set builders who want to build a set, and it's not about necessarily the cards. And when I say a set, I'm talking about maybe it's just these inserts within that set or just the base cards. I don't know that many people are as eclectic in choosing what they want to hunt or chase as I am at times.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
then do you collect
Sydney
um
says he did that. Hmm.
do you go after, so like in the Fleer, yeah, in the Fleer 20 Fleer X-Men, in the Fleer X-Men and
Mhm.
others, right? They have the base, and then there's like, I don't know if I like the look, but it's got all the X symbols on it, like the
Yeah.
different level foils, and then so it's giving you different level kind of
Mhm.
base sets. And I just wanted to go after the clean base set so I could see more of the cards and not have all the symbols everywhere.
Right. I'm
Uh,
with you on that to some degree.
yeah. And I think I was just going so fast on all the eBay listings. I think I got at least one like Omega Red,
Silver.
like silver, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh crap, I gotta go back now and get a normal one, or else I'm just gonna have one that's gonna be off, and that'll be pretty an
Well, for
eyesore.
like a set like Fleer Ultra X-Men that I was not around when those boxes were open in terms of collecting. I was still in that season of life where my girls got every ounce of energy and money from me, right? And so I picked Dark Phoenix. So I've been picking up Dark Phoenix cards from that set. Obviously, you can tell I like her quite a bit, but uh, and so it depends for me. I love to have every Spider-Man card. I don't necessarily have to. They're a lot of fun, but it really just depends on the art in each set.
Right on,
So
right on.
what's your next hunt? I like to use that word. I'm with Grill Chaser here. You said don't chase. I say hunt, don't chase. So what are you hunting next?
After that, I don't know. Maybe it's some of the inserts
Hmm.
from that 2018 X-Men set um, that are a little more accessible.
Hmm.
I do want to get a base set of the 2013 Fleer uh, Marvel Fleer Retro. That's another one. But yeah, it's just kind of small potato stuff. I think. Um, I'm not so much into the movie. Are you into like the movie cards? Like they've been doing those for many, many years too, right?
No, like we got Marvel Allure, which is coming out soon, which is kind of the upper deck Marvel version of say Topps Chrome. And I'll open up some of that product because that's just what I do, but I will not chase it. They're very unlikely that I'll hunt after any of those cards.
They're doing those, I forget what it's called, right? But it's the highest level um for Marvel Studios, and they have like diamonds in it, just right, like
Black
actual like
Diamond.
little tiny. Yeah, so yeah, those are funny.
I
I don't.
opened, yeah, I opened some of that and I actually really enjoyed it. I immediately sold all of it to pay for those cards. I mean, they were expensive cards. I was selling them for 600, 800, 1300, 700 out of those boxes. But it was more of an experiment for me. Just I think I opened six of those boxes, two physical, four or five in person. I mean on EPAC, something like that. But but I have one of those cards right now that I want to sell, and then I'll be done
Mhm.
with Black Diamond. The
Yeah,
the the actor stuff makes me a little nervous just because um, you just don't know what the actors are going to do in the future. So it always
in terms of like maintaining their value.
you said the funniest thing in our Instagram chat because you said, Spider-Man can't tear an ACL, right? But then you added a comment that I hadn't heard yet, and you said he can't demand a trade to DC, and I just died. I thought
I,
that was great.
I'm a big NBA fan. Not really too much into cards, but I'm a big
Mhm.
Celtics fan, and I
Oh, I'm
play
sorry to
fantasy.
hear that.
Who's your team?
Kobe Bryant, Lakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you guys won't have too much stress during this playoff season.
I
You
actually
take
have not followed the Lakers since 2019. So
yeah.
it's just too hard as a 20-year Kobe fan. I just haven't been able to do it.
I love watching these clips. There was one from a game a night or two ago of
Mhm.
like LeBron was like posting this guy up. He had him completely sealed, and it's just clips of like Austin Reeves and these other guys just jacking up bricks, and then it goes the other way, and he just LeBron just looks like so dejected.
Oh,
Like
I lived through
what is
those years
going
with
on?
Kobe. I sure did.
Yeah.
It was
Uh,
tough. The Celtics are they doing well this year?
they're they were underperforming, and then they kind
Mhm.
of got hot, and then right before the break they lost the game that they should have won, and then they're kind of touch and go now. They're playing a big game tonight against Memphis. I'm trying to maybe tune in later to see how that turned out, because Memphis is just going crazy with Ja now
Ja
taking
Morant.
over. Um, but yeah, so I think I was on the precipice of perhaps getting into basketball cards
Mhm.
a year or so ago during the pandemic. That was LaMelo's rookie season, and so
Yeah.
people were going crazy about that. And so I bought a couple just of like NBA hoops, like blaster boxes online, and got my
Mhm.
fix. Opened a few of those, and that was fun. And then I kind of got it out of my system. But I don't know. Maybe I'll venture back into basketball at some point here.
Yeah, it was interesting because I was at the Atlanta card show, which was, dominated by sports primarily, but we had, quite possibly the largest Marvel card presence in any of those trade shows, maybe ever. And, I had the gold one of one with me. And coming out of the weekend, people were reaching out to me saying the Marvel card was the best card there, period. And there were other really nice cards there. I thought that was fascinating.
Are there is that from the what set is that from? Your Spider-Man, your
20,
gold?
2017 Flare Ultra Spider Man. So PMGs come from 2013 Retro, 2015 Retro, 2017 Flare Ultra Spider Man, 2018 Flare Ultra X Men, and then X-Men Metal Universe 2021
When did they start doing the one of ones
in
for?
2015.
Okay,
So there's none in 2013. And
that's
in Mhm.
are there a lot of other one of ones just out there known like that people have, and I don't
Oh
know, that's
yeah.
kind of your thing, like, right? Like it's your little mascot.
Yeah. Yeah, the one of one is, obviously a very special card. It depend on who you talk to, might be the top card in all of Marvel. There is a 2015 gold one of one, and I think from a art, it's going to depend on aesthetically which one you might like better. I'm indifferent to it personally, but yeah, it's a really special card. But there are other really special cards outside of PMGs and Marvel cards. For instance, Marvel Masterpieces has one of ones. They're called Red Spectrums, and if you have a 2016 Spider-Man one of one Red Spectrum, I think that card should be considered, as special as even the gold one of one.
Do I've seen this in some of the sports card space
Mhm.
too, but there are these companies that, you can buy and sell shares of a
Mhm.
card. Is that gonna make is Marvel Cards gonna make its way into that kind of model of investing, do you
More
think?
than anytime you see prices climb up into the six figures, you're going to definitely see the quote collectible industry say, "Hey, you may not be able to own this car, but you can own a share of it." I've actually personally already sold a position in the gold one of one, and so I've already enjoyed some of the benefits of it financially while still being able to be connected and close to the card.
Mhm.
And it's not quite fractional ownership, although I guess in theory, a similar type thing. It's more of a partnership that I've done, but you're definitely gonna see your higher end collectibles move into that space. And I think it has to do with what you see behind. Like you see all my stuff behind me, my comic books, right? It's a theme that I know and I enjoy. I understand it. I study it. I follow it. And I think as quote our generations and those that maybe follow us as we move forward, with data, being able to track where values and prices and things are at all times, I think you're going to see people want their net worth and assets tied to things that they know and enjoy and love and have a passion for. So I think you're going to see more and more and more of high end collectibles move into that space. And people, I'm going to use the air quotes of investment because I'm not trying to give investing advice, but see it as an investment because I can track it and understand it, as opposed to some stock or mutual fund, which is not saying that's not great. It is. I have them, but I don't understand it. Like I just know it's over there. I don't really know what makes up what's in it, but I do understand what my collectibles what makes those up, and being able to track those values. I think are going to make people more and more and more attracted to owning fractional ownership in it.
It's a long ways from the Wizard magazine price guides with the
Dude.
right, the little green, what was it, blue, green, and red little highlights that they would just randomly throw in there. Like,
Oh wait, oh look, it was Jeff. He's the one who ripped that that Jim Lee auto at in the middle of the night one night.
oh, I want to see that. Put it up, Jeff, or something. I don't know.
Jeff, you gotta send me a link on Instagram if you have a way to do it, or put it here in the chat. That'd be awesome. But I definitely think you're gonna see that. So I got a Marvel Legends question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think is I'm trying to think of the right adjective, not best or rarest or most valuable. Pick one. Marvel Legend.
So I'm I'm more of an authority on the Hasbro run, right?
Yeah, let's stick
From
with Hasbro. We don't have to bring Toy
2014.
Biz. Mhm.
No, Toy Biz is great, and a lot of people. It is one line, but for having gone on so long, there's even within Hasbro, I think, distinct eras of
Right.
the early Legends and kind of what we're doing now, and even the more recent stuff with a lot of the actor likeness and the improved articulation that the team is always improving upon. It's hard to say best because it's kind of like I think the Toy Biz stuff was great for its time, right? The
Yeah.
Toy Biz Gambit is probably still one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Sorry, what was your question was what's
Like,
the best?
what do you think? Like, if you ask me what's the best Marvel card, I'm asking you what's the best Marvel Legend.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm too involved. I'm too like emotionally
Ju
involved with having been there through a lot of it in the most recent runs. But yeah, like there's some Comic-Con sets that are rare, and I've talked about it on previous interviews and stuff. So and you'll
Uh-huh.
appreciate it too. But like, because you're a Dark Phoenix collector in some cases, and so yeah, that Dark Phoenix 2-pack,
Yeah.
right? That one's kind of up there in terms of most coveted and highest price on the secondary market because it was a Toys R Us exclusive, and we
Mhm.
haven't gotten to that character again. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Time will tell. But yeah, and that's special to me because I suggested to do that set because we needed an item and we couldn't do a bunch of new characters, and I remembered that there was that X-Men first appearance X-Men box set, like the
Mhm.
five of them. And so
Yeah.
I was looking at that Cyclops and I was like, I'm pretty sure you can just do that Cyclops, but in the, the classic blue with the darker blue with the yellow boots. And we just did a Jean Grey Phoenix in her green, like that was in the Juggernaut
Yeah.
wave in 2016. I was like, oh, so like we did the green one. Why don't we do a Dark Phoenix? And then I brought it to Dwight, and I was still pretty new to the team, and they were very nice, and they looked at it and they were like, yeah, that makes sense. We could probably do that. And I was like, whoa, like, oh, is that actually? So we're gonna make it? And then we ended up making it, and so that was cool. So
And you didn't just make it, you absolutely knocked it out of the park with Dark Phoenix.
that's a good one. Yeah, I
I'm
think that's
telling you.
why she can stand pretty well too. She doesn't have like the wobbly wobbly
I have
heels.
I have her right here. She's leaving this display, and she will be displayed with my trading card. So I love to do both. You can go through my Instagram, and I'll have Marvel trading card with the Marvel Legend. And so
Do you have 2 though? Because she's got the 2
no.
heads or 3 heads? Is it 2
So
heads?
the only reason I even have one is a local buddy sold just Dark Phoenix to me with only one head.
Okay.
So I don't have another one or the alternate head.
Well, so which one do you have?
I have the
Is it the
one
angry
that's
head?
no, I have the one that's more like
Okay.
more defined.
Yeah.
I could grab it, but it's right there. I'll have to get it later and show you.
Yeah, so I've seen, and this is topical
Yeah.
because, it was announced that the Netflix Marvel shows in the Daredevil universe are
Uh-huh.
coming to Disney Plus
Right.
in a couple of weeks here. They announced that they were leaving Netflix, and people weren't sure where they were going. And thankfully, people don't have to wait too long. But I've seen the Netflix Marvel Legends that we did kind of really spiking in value too on the secondary market. In particular, the um,
The box set?
Defenders Rail Authority box set, which I have lots of fun stories of development for that one too. But yeah, so like the three
Oh,
big figures in
wow.
those, the Daredevil with the unmasked Matt Murdock head, which was
Mhm.
only in the Comic-Con exclusive, the Danny Rand figure in his suit, that's the only Danny Rand, and then the Colleen Wing, because those were only in that Comic-Con set. Luke Cage, we did again in a 2-pack with a different colored shirt,
Mhm.
and the Jessica Jones in that set was basically the same Jessica Jones, but without the jacket. She just had like she had bare arms in
I've
the
used that
Comic-Con one.
female body to mix up my Mary Jane and, Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, that's a good one, and I really like the likeness on the
Mhm.
Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones. But that one I've seen. I was just curious, like, because once they announced that they were moving over to D Plus, I think there's some renewed interest in that set, and for a while, um, yeah, there was a lot of those that wave. It was the Man Thing wave. It had
Mhm.
Daredevil. It had
Blade.
Jessica Jones, Comic Blade, Comic Bullseye, and then Punisher, the
Oh,
John
that
Bernthal
comic
Punisher.
Bullseye is still just one of the best legends.
Yeah, just the expression, the crazy, and like
Yeah.
the
I
pointing
love it.
hand.
It's so good. I'm missing some from that wave. That's one wave that I don't have everything for. It's been tough to complete.
The figures take up more space than the cards.
They
So if
do.
you run
Hey,
out,
is the Nova figure out yet
then no, yeah, it should be. I
for
think
Walgreens?
we're
I got
having
I gotta do a better job.
we're having there's issues with Walgreens and we're working on it. Yeah, so it was interesting that the Quasar went up for sale for it was when it was up on their website for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Nova was supposed to release actually before Quasar, so I don't know if they have any Nova left to go back, but we are working with them because we've got it. We've we've already revealed a bunch. We've got Binary, the Captain Marvel Binary
Hmm.
form. And then we've got what have we got? We've announced Baron Zemo and Jigsaw, some
Yeah.
kind of super villains, which will be coming.
Baron
So be
Zemo
eager
is
for
like
those
one of my
guys.
favorite legend hunting stories because I found it in a like a hole in the wall comic book shop for $5. And that's when it
The Toy
was
Biz one, the Toy Biz one.
no, the Hasbro Baron Zemo.
Oh, the from the Captain America
Hmm.
2014 wave. Okay.
That thing was
Yep.
expensive when I found it.
I was hunting the Black Widow for that when that came out. I like couldn't find the Black Widow because it was the first like movie Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson figure. I remember hunting that one.
Is that the
Uh,
one where the zipper top?
Probably, yeah. No,
So,
well, no, it was a movie one. It was the movie one from
oh,
Captain
okay.
America Winter Soldier, not the Toy
Yeah,
Biz one.
I don't have that one either. How many do I not have? I feel like I have all of them, but I don't. if it was
It's
pre
hard to keep up.
if it was pre 2016, I'm probably still missing some.
Hmm.
Not full, not the full wave. So still got some hunting to do.
There's there's always some, right? Whether it's cards or Marvel or other things we collect that may not be Marvel. That's what's great. It's just a space issue, I guess,
Well,
overall.
I have a couple of rules. If it doesn't fit in this room, I can't have it. So I only have so much space, and I have to sell something every week. That's a rule. That way, I don't become a hoarder.
That's good discipline. That's more than I could say for myself. More comes up to this third floor than ever goes down. If I
Right.
if I take anything down, I'll bring in like 30 boxes and I'll take one small box out and then I feel accomplished.
You feel it, yeah. No, I have to do that because I mean I really enjoy all this stuff. It's just at some point it's you got to have some boundaries, and so that's how I check myself. I created a finite space, and I have to sell something every week. Mhm.
That's good. One in, one out.
Yep. Well, I don't
Good
know. I
rule.
can't say I'm quite there yet, but to the one in, one out. I've looked around. I'm like, why do I have two of those? I didn't need two of those, but I do have two of them.
There have been times where like I would go to conventions or, certain stores. But out in Los Angeles, there's this place called Frank and Sons,
Hmm.
which I know they're at a new location now. Back when we lived there over 10 years ago, they were in another location, but it was just tons of vendors like all crammed in, and you would walk around and you'd see things that you like and you don't have, but you almost feel like you have them because you see it so often, right? Like
Yeah.
in going
Yeah.
to things, and then I would like see a figure in a place and I would buy it, and then eventually I would bring it home and it's like I actually already had it. And so in my mind, I've forgotten what I actually have and what I'm just used to seeing. So I need a better kind of system. So I think I have like two Colossuses or Storms from the old Toy Biz X-Men Legends. Well, they weren't really Legends. It was like the X-Men Classics line
Hmm.
before, but they were like Legends quality. So I have like a couple of duplicates, which is just funny. I lose track.
Well, with you saying that, that makes me realize I probably need to give you the advice I wish somebody would have given me when I got into Marvel cards and got started, significantly. One easily is going to be if you're not making a checklist to keep up what you're missing, so that you're being very specific about what you're hunting and what you're filling in your checklist needs. But the other part of it is, uh, y- if you're not careful, you'll chase too much at one time. Like you'll be at 2018 and then 2013, and you're kind of spread out. If I was you, I would really hyper focus and use all of your energy and resources to that one set or one character, whatever it is you pick that you're hunting, and not get distracted by the other things. Because what I see happen is then the FOMO kicks in. It's like, well, I don't want to miss out on this. I don't want to miss out on that. Well, what if prices go up on this? and then you're kind of spread too thin as a Marvel card collector, and you haven't actually even finished anything that you wanted to accomplish. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
So the people that I've seen have uh, success is a difficult word to actually define, but I've seen people do really special things when they focus on that one thing, that one set or that one character, that one insert, and get it done before they get lost in something else. Whichever it is that you decide, you want to grab the hardest card first, the most expensive card first, for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you don't get that, it's just going to be impossible to finish, right?
Hmm.
If you get everything else. Something else really interesting happens is when you get that big card, that anchor card, it's magnetic. It has a way of attracting the other cards that you need. Because if you have it, that means someone else doesn't. That means they're giving up on the set. Does that make sense? And then things kind of get let go. And so I would create the focus, and then I would get the big cards first, and then don't be distracted.
That's really good advice. Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
That's and I think especially for the bigger type things. For let me ask you this, like for kind of the mid-level standard like inserts where they're not, in the hundreds of dollars per card, I sometimes get the urge to just be like lazy and just like buy a set, like just I just want to just buy the complete set versus
Mhm.
hunting singles because it's that immediate gratification, right? You're not going to have to
Mhm.
worry about you're going to start something and then never finish it, but I never know like kind of what's the best way to go on that.
Obviously, with the concept of diminishing returns, which typically is true, right? You can buy a 12 pack of Cokes cheaper than you can buy a single Coke, right? And so generally, you can get a full set from more cheaply on a per card basis than you can an individual card. That sometimes isn't true in Marvel cards though, because of rarity. Example, in a 2016 Marvel Masterpieces, if somebody has that full base set, that means they have the tier fours. The tier fours are numbered to 99 or 50, depending on, whether you're doing the base or what if. That can be really expensive because someone has already done all the legwork of putting that set together. But your lower end sets, I bet you're going to save money by buying a full set rather than piecing it out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm. Because, for instance, if Spider Man's the most expensive and he's in a full set, a lot of the value is just going to be attributed to him, and tend to get the other characters at a discount.
Yeah, I guess it's like that with everything really,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm neurotic at the office because as you know, right, in Legends we have Build-A-Figure waves,
Hmm.
and I am a collector at heart and I like keeping sets together. And so when someone's like, "Hey, can I get a Scarlet Witch figure out of the Disney Plus wave, the Falcon Cap
Hmm.
wave?" And it's like I kind of just grit my teeth because I know when I take the Scarlet Witch out of out of that case, it's now an incomplete
It's
case.
incomplete.
So I
Yes.
would rather when people are like, "Hey, I'm looking for two out of these characters in the wave of seven," I'll like just take the case, like
Just take all
so,
of them. Yeah.
because yeah, like what am I gonna do with five left over? So yeah,
Yeah. I
like
mean, you don't want to split the kids up. You want to keep them together.
yeah, that's it's more challenging too than other figure lines,
Hmm.
like our friends on Star Wars or Transformers or Power Rangers or whatnot that don't have a build a figure component.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of you can break them up more easily.
Yeah. That is one good thing about the vintage card is, you can break those up more easily. But I absolutely love the build a figure. It's too important to Marvel Legends in my opinion. Like it's something I really look forward to, and getting characters at that scale and size is really special. I've got quite a few build a figures back here. You probably can't see them, but I love them, and I can't wait to see which characters you guys do in the future.
What's your favorite build a figure or most
Uh,
like
Ooh,
what are you digging lately?
um, outside of the original Toy Biz down there. He's down there. Toy Biz Sentinels, which is not Hasbro, but I really love those. Um, Gosh, that's a good question.
Is it is it more of like a size
I
metric or
like
just
the size. I really like the original Vulture from Homecoming. I
mhm.
love the wings. I love that of getting that as he's right up here fighting Spider Man, and just so everybody can maybe understand it, but um, that uh, and I know he's been re-released, so you don't have to build them. But I've really loved that one. The which one is the more of a grizzly bear? I can't remember his name. U.S. Majors. What's his name?
Ursa Major? Yep.
Ursa Major. The detail on that one is just out of this world. Love it. Uh, I haven't put together the AOA Colossus yet, but just looking at it in the package, it looks amazing.
He's actually here on my desk. I
Oh
forget
yeah,
why, but yeah. Yeah, this guy is it was fun to do a Colossus build a figure because we had done other Colossus figures that were just in the wave, and this guy
right.
is much more. He lost his little bandana along the way.
He's
That's
amazing.
gonna annoy me.
I've got to.
But
I haven't opened it yet just because I've got to make the space for it.
yeah,
Which is now becoming my bigger challenge is, is where to put some of these figures. But yeah, I really love them. Do you have any more questions for me?
no, I think I got my homework. I've got my rules of the road to follow, and if I have any other questions, I'll hit you up and you can set me straight. And as I try to wade my way into this wonderfully deep territory that I am, it tugs at the heartstrings and the memories, but there's a lot that's going on, and it's crazy how you can just recite off. I think I'm like that with Legends. I'll be like, oh yeah, like this
Sure.
year we did this, that, and that, and then all the sets and all the different stuff. But yeah, I'm a sucker for the Fleer retro type stuff, and they've done the X-Men 92 as like inserts,
They
right,
have,
in various sets. So I should
and
probably
that's
hunt
going to be
those
in your
down at some
retro
point.
2020. It's either in 20. It may be in both 2013. Yes, in 2013. But it may be in 2015 for as well. But I can't remember because you not
Ye-
only have them as base cards, you have them with autos on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably start off on the base, but yeah. And thanks for encouraging me to show off these cards. That was fun. They can get a little love. They've just been
Yeah.
squared away, but.
Well, look, the Marvel card community is a kind one and a fun one, and one that likes to help educate. And so, reach out to me or any of the other guys. Obviously, I'm always going to be here to help answer any questions, and uh, I'm sure I'll have Marvel Legends questions in the future, and they can continue to be excited about what you guys are doing, the great work. You, Dwight, and oh gosh, why can't they have his name all of a sudden?
Dan, young Dan.
Dan. Yeah, I wanted to say Dan, but it just wouldn't come out. Dan, I'd love to get to know him too. He seems like a fun guy, and Dwight is just hilarious.
Yeah, we have a good time. Dwight's been working on it forever. I'm kind of in the middle there, and Dan is he's been on the team a while now, but he's still kind of like he brings that younger younger perspective. He's
Right.
he's more he's the Twitter guy. He's the Twitter expert. So
Yeah, he's his Twitter. His I got him on my. He's one of my few notifications that I allow on Twitter. I don't get on it much, but Dan's tweets is one of them. Is he into Marvel cards at all?
I think maybe a little bit, not to the extent that I am. I'm older than him, so I don't think he grew up like right when I was
Yeah.
when those 90s sets came out. I was at that right age, but yeah, I think he appreciates it more than Dwight does.
Yeah.
um I've tried to give him a couple of random cards too. Nightcrawler is one of his favorites, so I gave him a
Right.
Nightcrawler card from the 1990 set a couple while back, and it's still on his desk. So yeah.
Well, there's still time to get Dan into Marvel cards more. We've got to work on. But is he not on Instagram?
He is not. No, he'll leave the Instagram. So I'm more of the Instagram guy and he's more of the Twitter guy. And I guess we didn't strategize that out. That's just kind of how it
It's
worked
just how
out.
it worked. Now,
But
who's on TikTok?
no one yet. Probably Dan first. I don't know. I'm not.
Can you
I'm
get to
not as
White?
good.
Can you get to White on TikTok? That'd be great.
Dwight's teenage daughters would have to help him out with that. I bet.
I have a teenage daughter who has a TikTok that has over 1 million views, and she's got over 32,000 followers. So I'm small.
Astounding.
I'm small time compared to her. She's 15, so
That is
she's
insane.
got to teach me some stuff. Well, Ryan, this has really been a blessing, and I've been waiting for this moment in the sense of anticipation, and very thankful that Marvel Cards brought us together. I think it's poetic in a lot of ways for me, and it gives me a lot of joy. So, really appreciate you, everybody in the chats. Thank you. I saw your chats up there, and we'll have to get some of your questions later. But I was really wanted to hear more from Ryan and hear his questions. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And just a reminder, I don't do this, do a good job reminding everybody, but when we get to 3,000 subscribers, we're going to give away one of Sentinel. There's 3 of them back there. You can't see I got one laying down as a diorama piece, but it'll be one mint on card, as they say. So we'll give that away at 3,000 subscribers. Ryan, if people want to follow you, where can they do so?
Yeah, so I'm mostly on Instagram at Ryan_Ting there. So if you like sassy teases on the displays, or yeah, follow me there, and continue to check out Hasbro Pulse for all of the latest Marvel Legends news and stuff. And yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate the education, and I love your content. So keep that up as I get
Absolutely.
more into Marvel cards. And yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, we got to do this again in the future. Maybe when another set comes out. Maybe one night I can convince you to rip open a box of cards with me.
Maybe we will. I've got a couple. Yeah, maybe I'll sacrifice a purple Wolverine because everyone knows that Magneto box is the better one.
Oh, is it really?
I don't know. That's just my thing.
That's your thing?
Yeah.
I
Are
opened up
you?
the I opened up the Magneto first
You
too, by
did?
the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you. Like, it's just that art. It's just that it's just fantastic. They're both
Yeah.
good.
Let's do this again and actually open some stuff. You'll be my motivation to do that. Otherwise, they're just going right back in the plastic bins.
Gotta, yeah, ABR. Always be ripping. Set them free. All right, guys. Everybody, thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a marvelous day.